Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We also assist companies in NADCAP certification along with ISO certification. We assist them and we also get them ISO certified and in all their derivatives of ISO standards, GMPs, etc. Today, this video is about Boeing to pay $8.1 million to resolve alleged False Claims Act violations arising from manufacture of the V-22 Osprey. Yes, just a mere couple of weeks ago, a V-22 went down. Could this be the reason why? What happened with this is that they discovered between the years of 2007 and 2018, you had 11 years of the company not writing down, from what I've gathered, the proper times and temperatures. They didn't do any documentation. I was in aerospace. When we had an autoclave operation, we would stamp it out in the beginning, many times in the middle, and at the end, we would do the evaluation of the entire dwell cycle and everything else for the cure of the composite material. My background is composites. Composite plastics, non-ferrous metals, aluminum, titanium alloys, etc., etc. I don't want to give you narcolepsy, okay? So we're dealing with Boeing. Boeing, who sits on the American National Standards Institute, okay? And I'm not going to go through the whole mess. ANSI and ANAP were basically watched over by Communist China through their membership of the International Accreditation Forum, incorporated in Delaware, between the years of 2015 and 2021. So any federal agency that sat on ANSI's board, because it is a combo, that corporation is a non-governmental entity, not for profit, and they have both corporations and federal agencies on board. So you have Boeing sitting there, no less. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. In 2002, they sent out to their suppliers basically a supplement, a notification to them. And it stated, on-site Boeing survey of supplier quality system if need be. Our preference is to deal with proven suppliers with excellent quality performance and not have to do on-site quality system surveys. Now, this has been in effect for over 21 years. This is 22 years now, because it's 2024. So this procurement procedure for their suppliers said, basically, if you're AS9100, that's the ISO standard for aerospace, then just send us your parts, flight safety, this, that, the other thing, and then you have a door blown off. Now you know why. Maybe they could have stopped that if there were source inspectors. Isn't that nice? To make matters worse, and you're going to see this combo, is that you find out that the FAA succeeded inspection to Boeing, meaning that they gave, let's say, the 737, 777, 787, they basically said carte blanche. They made Boeing employees part of the FAA as their oversight, which meant if the manager came up to the oversight guy, we need this part out, we need it now. And guess what? The pressure got to them, and you have failure. Also, you will find in this presentation that Boeing, this is not the first time with the V-22 that Boeing has been snagged for doing incompetent work. And that starts with David Calhoun and works its way down. And David Calhoun does not, like Dennis Muhlenberg, his predecessor, does not give a shit about their employees nor the quality of the product. Because you know something? You could tell with all these defects. Look what they do. They have ANSI and ANAP on their supplier portal. Must be ANSI, ANAP, or internationally equivalent. And you find out the internationally equivalent is no more than Iran and Pakistan, who also sit on the American-based, incorporated in Delaware, IAF. What the fuck is wrong with you, ladies and gentlemen? Those who are ANSI, ANAP accredited, you know what I'll hear them say? Daryl, I have to take the road of least resistance. Boeing says we're supposed to be that. Lockheed says it. And they all produce shit. After their 801st Lockheed Martin F-35, they still have defects. They can't get it straightened out. So here you have a notification that they're making Boeing employees FAA employees. Isn't that nice? Boeing sits on ANSI's board. Boeing, no less. You also have the factor, here it is, Kobe Steel, their steel supplier, plus themselves were caught fudging documentation. So what happened to the V-22 is nothing but the same old stuff. On top of it, who is sitting by them? Oh, look at that, the FAA. Isn't that nice? They must go golfing together. Isn't that nice? And then to make matters worse, the people who find them, Department of Justice, they too sit on ANSI's board right over by the FAA, right over by Boeing. I don't think we'll ever see a reimbursement of $8.1 million from Boeing. But you know something? They say if it's Boeing, don't get going. And I know what many people say. Daryl, we have safety. It's safety. There's been no plane going down. I predict that there will be one that's going to go down because the lackadaisicalness of this whole mess and ANSI ANAB, Joe Batia, is part of the problem. And those that are underneath him are part of the problem. And he is retiring this year. He's the CEO of ANSI. But because he is, how should we say, because he is pulling the hair out of his teeth, because he was kissing a lot of ass, okay, ass, that's quality terminology. I think that's an ANSI standard, as a matter of fact, kissing ass. He is all wrapped up in these federal agencies. As you can see, FAA, you have Department of Justice with Boeing, Lockheed is also sitting there. You also have Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. Pfizer skipped quality processes and standards. Johnson & Johnson, 75 million vials of COVID returned because of contamination, bad quality. You have Boeing with their bullshit down with the V-22 and the metals issue. You know something? I would guarantee within 6 months, if they got me in there at a Boeing or Lockheed, I would clean that mess up without a doubt. I tried to do that with ANSI ANAB. I tried to do that at the board of directors, director at large. Except the same guy who said to me, Russ Cheney, the chairman, no less, said half a nut fuck you because I exposed an impropriety in laboratory accreditation. He was the same guy who was a nominating chairman. So shit is shit. And when you deal with ANAP and ANSI, IAF, ILAC, when you sit your ass down on a plane that Boeing builds, you have to think, are the metals in here going to be good? I guess it wasn't good on the door. They will make some kind of cock and bull story, as they normally do, because you know why? The FBI sits on ANSI too, the ones who investigate this horrendous ordeal. So they kiss each other's ass and rub each other's back. My telephone number is 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS@yahoo.com. And I tell you this because you know something? When speaking the truth, it is many times like administering medication to the dead. And as you can see, he's already gone to China because Boeing was watched over by China between 2015 and 21 by being an ANSI member. I look forward to hearing from you.